Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Vocal Journey. I am your host, Linda, and today we are diving into something that touches every single one of us at some point in our lives: building speaking confidence.
Oh, I am so ready for this, Linda. It is a topic that I think people assume comes naturally to us because we sit behind these microphones every day, but the truth is far more complex and, frankly, a bit more messy than that.
You are absolutely right, son. It is very messy. I remember my first time speaking in front of a large group. My hands were shaking so hard I had to sit on them just to keep them still. I felt like my heart was trying to stage a prison break from my chest.
I know that feeling all too well. It is that physiological rush, isn't it? The fight or flight response kicking in at exactly the wrong moment. But today, we want to talk about how to transform that nervous energy into something powerful, something that actually works for you rather than against you.
That is the key word: transformation. We are not here to tell you that the fear will magically disappear forever. Instead, we want to give you the tools to walk through that fear. Let's start with the mindset. Son, when you are feeling that pre-talk jitter, how do you reframe it in your mind?
I use a technique called anxiety reappraisal. Instead of telling myself to calm down, which, let's be honest, never works, I tell myself I am excited. Physiologically, anxiety and excitement are almost identical. My heart rate is up, my breath is quick. I just choose to label it as energy that I can give to the audience.
I love that. I am excited. It changes the narrative from being a victim of your nerves to being a provider of energy. And speaking of the audience, one of the biggest hurdles is the spotlight effect. We think everyone is watching our every micro-expression, waiting for us to fail.
But the reality is so much kinder. Most people in an audience are actually rooting for you. They want to hear what you have to say. They want to be entertained or informed. They are not there with a magnifying glass looking for your flaws. They are there to connect with your message.
Exactly. When you shift your focus from "how do I look" to "how can I help these people," the pressure lifts. It becomes about service rather than performance. It's a beautiful shift in perspective that really grounds you in the moment.
Let's talk about some of the physical things we can do, Linda, because even with a great mindset, sometimes the body just reacts. What is your go-to physical trick for when you feel that tightness in your throat right before you start?
I call it the anchor breath. I take a long, slow inhale through my nose, feeling my belly expand, and then I exhale through pursed lips, like I'm blowing through a straw. It signals to my nervous system that I am safe. I also literally push my toes into the floor to feel the physical weight of the ground beneath me.
I can feel the calm just listening to you describe that. For me, it's also about the power of the pause. When we are nervous, we tend to rush. We speak at 100 miles an hour because we want it to be over. But when you pause, it shows command. It gives the audience a chance to breathe with you.
You see, just that 1 second of silence creates so much more weight and authority. It's brave to be silent. It tells the room that you are comfortable with the space you are taking up, and you deserve to take up that space, son.
We all do. Every voice has a unique frequency that the world needs to hear. But Linda, what about preparation? Some people think they should memorize every single word to feel confident, but I often find that backfires.
Oh, memorization is a trap. If you forget one word, the whole house of cards collapses. I always suggest knowing your islands of safety. These are your key points, your stories, and your conclusion. You know how to get from one island to the next, even if the water in between looks a little different every time you swim it.
I love that metaphor. It allows for spontaneity. It makes the speech feel alive and conversational, which is ultimately what people connect with. They don't want a robot. They want a human being sharing an experience.
Let's touch on the one-to-one trick for large rooms. When you look at a sea of faces, it's terrifying. But if you pick one person, make eye contact, and finish a sentence to them, it feels like a private conversation. Then you move to another person for the next sentence. It shrinks the room down to a human scale.
That is such a powerful way to build intimacy. It stops the room from feeling like an other and starts making it feel like a group of friends. And friends don't judge, friends listen. Linda, what would you say to someone who has a bad experience and feels like their confidence is shattered?
I would say, welcome to the club. Every great speaker has had a moment where they tripped, forgot a point, or felt the room go cold. That is not a failure. It's data. It's a brick in the foundation of your experience. You have to be willing to be a bad speaker for a little while to become a great one.
Resilience is the secret sauce. You get back up, you review what happened without being cruel to yourself, and you try again. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the mastery of it. It's a muscle that grows every time you step out of your comfort zone.
It really is. And to our listeners today, I want you to know that your voice is worth hearing. Whether it's in a boardroom, at a wedding toast, or just speaking up in a meeting, you have value. Start small. Practice in front of a mirror, record yourself on your phone, or join a local group like Toastmasters.
Yes, take that first step. Record yourself and listen back, not to criticize, but to hear the parts of your voice that are already strong. You might be surprised at how much authority you already possess. Linda, this has been such a nourishing conversation today.
It really has, son. I feel more confident just talking about it with you. As we wrap up, I want to leave everyone with one final thought. The world doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to be present. Show up as you are, and the rest will follow.
Beautifully said. Thank you for joining us in the vocal journey. We hope you feel a little more equipped to take that stage, whatever it may look like for you. We believe in you.
Cheerfully. Until next time, keep speaking, keep sharing, and keep being you. Good night, everyone.